Alright then, the papers are coming out with all kinds of crazy stuff today. Yo, what's happening, friends? Welcome back, welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope every last one of you are doing well. I really do hope that. Namaste. Welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on Football Therapy, where I react to what's being said in the rags, and there's a lot of crazy stuff to react to today. First of all, I want to show you Chelsea's away kit for next season. That's not necessarily crazy because it's footy headlines and they're usually bang on. Reports suggest that Chelsea are willing to offer all kinds of players to secure this signature of Achraf Hakimi, including Mateo Kovacic. And also, a certain Spanish outlet has suggested that Chelsea are now favourites to sign Super Jacky Grealish. Ooh, spanner in the works. If indeed true, take with a handful of salt. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want daily content regarding Chelsea Football Club. Of course, if you dig it, please do drop a like. And if you think you'd be interested in daily content of me covering the Euros, go subscribe to Football Yannick, my other channel where I'm doing like 2 or 3 ruddy videos a day. You can go subscribe by clicking a link down in the description, nearly couldn't say that, or clicking a card up above me in the corner. Wicked, thank you for your support. Let's start by having a look at this away kit for next season. Cool, so it's a Chelsea yellow away kit, iconic of course. I really liked that one we had a few years ago, bright canary yellow. This one is a little bit different though. It's leaked by footy headlines, so of course you are inclined to think this is an accurate leak. I mean, I'm trying to think of the last time footy headlines actually got something wrong. They generally don't. They always seem to find a kit that's about to be released that hasn't been announced, and they show it to you and it's leaked somehow, and they just have these, they've got fingers and pies everywhere. God knows how they do it, but the last few kits that I've spoken about here on Football Therapy that have been leaked via footy headlines, it's been accurate. It's been bang on. So you probably saw a little sort of thumbnail of it there in the Chelsea News title screen bit. But let's show you a bigger picture of it now to give you some context of what we're dealing with here. Now, it's a sort of similar yellow, close to the iconic away kit yellow. Very peculiar that it's got the horizontal thin lines on. Now, a lot of people like this in football kits. It's something that does knock about every now and again. It's very, very difficult to judge the shirt just when it's flat like that and it's not on a person, because often those lines look a lot better when they're on the football player or indeed just a football fan. But I think it might be okay. I think it might be okay. I often fly off the handle with certain kits thinking, oh, that's crazy, why are they doing this to us? And then sometimes it looks a lot better on the players. We've seen that with recent home shirts, etc. But this away kit could work, so I'm going to give it a sort of semi thumbs up, and we'll see what happens with that. Of course, let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions down in the comment section. Read this new Chelsea away shirt. Right then, we got that over and done with. We can get into the hot gossip rumour mill now, and let's start off with this Achraf Hakimi story and part exchange player thing. Cool, so one of the big targets for Chelsea this summer, maybe the most achievable big sort of Galactico target, is Achraf Hakimi, the super right wing back, can play left wing back of course. Spoken about him on a few videos prior to this, as have many Chelsea content creators, as it is a hot topic right now. Inter have financial problems, and of course they're looking to hold on to their talisman, Romelu Lukaku, who's already come out and said he's staying at Inter. What a beast Lukaku is, by the way, scoring that brace for Belgium. He truly is an elite striker that's actually getting better. Would have liked him at Chelsea. Anyway, we'll see what happens with buying a striker. I'll of course keep you updated on that story when updates come out. But Achraf Hakimi, he could probably solve Inter's financial problems with a big sale. Chelsea are interested. Of course, they've scouted him extensively in the past, but that was before they saw Reece James coming through and they dropped all interest after Frank Lampard came in. But interest has been reignited with Thomas Tuchel looking at him, not with the intention of getting rid of Reece James. I'm going to be citing an article from Football.London giving you some updates on this rumour. Chelsea have proposed 3 more players to Inter Milan in an effort to try and secure a deal for Achraf Hakimi, with Mateo Kovacic one of the surprise names who could be included in the swap. The Blues have made signing a new right wing back one of their top priorities this summer, and Hakimi is their #1 target, with Inter needing to sell at least one of their star players to balance their books. Chelsea are already believed to have made an initial offer worth €60 million, plus a choice of Emerson Palmieri or Andreas Christensen, but are now trying to sweeten the deal further. I think Emerson Palmieri makes a lot of sense, even though he plays on the left and not right. But I really don't like that Andreas Christensen rumoured proposal in the deal. I don't want to get rid of Christensen, man. According to Corriere dello Sport, the West London club have now offered 3 more players to try and tempt Inter into selling. Davide Zappacosta, Tammy Abraham and Kovacic. Right, off the bat, Zappacosta, yeah. That makes sense. Tammy Abraham, well, we know he's probably unlikely to play. I would have liked to see him go to like a Dortmund to try and act as a make-weight for Erling Haaland, which is probably more important. And indeed, Kovacic is the surprise package in here, so let's read on. The Croatian, who played for Inter before joining Real Madrid, is a real surprise given he's been a key player for Thomas Tuchel, with the coach frequently praising his midfielder. Yeah, just quickly on that with Kovacic, maybe they see him as a highly valuable player that's, you know, probably worth maybe, I don't know, 50 million on the way out. I think they got Kovacic for like 30 million, something like that. Remember, Kovacic played for Inter Milan before and he's got a connection there, and maybe he could go back as a star player. And remember, they've just won the Scudetto, so they've just won the title in Italy. Maybe it might be alluring to him to go back to a club that he enjoyed some time at, scored a few more goals by the way, and now they're the title holders. You know, he might feel like they can do something in the league where it might be a little bit more difficult for Chelsea, I don't know. Still, I think it would be very sad to see Kovacic go because he's a very effective specialist in the middle of the park. Frank Lampard was saying on the BBC coverage yesterday for the England game, and by the way, I absolutely loved Frank Lampard on the punditry, him responding to his time at Chelsea, him responding to Chelsea winning the Champions League and his pride to see Mason Mount, Reece James, Chilwell and Thiago Silva all perform, players that he brought in. And he didn't try and claim any of the victory from Thomas Tuchel. He was humble, but it was just nice. He showed pride. I wanted to get that in there because it was such a nice moment. Anyway, Frank Lampard spoke about Mateo Kovacic in that segment, and he was talking about how he's so good in the midfield, but perhaps lacking in both boxes, which is true. He's not winning headers in his own 18-yard box, and he's not scoring goals or assisting in the final third. So he very much is a specialist in the middle of the pitch. Right, let's move on to the other players. Zappacosta, though, is surplus to requirements, and Chelsea are desperate to offload him. While Abraham has fallen far down the pecking order, he did not even make the bench for the FA Cup final and the Champions League final. Yeah, like I said, Zappacosta makes sense. The Tammy one's sad, but we know the situation there. Despite Chelsea's generous offer, the problem they face is Inter still need to free up funds and get players off their wage bill, not add further salaries and multiple players. At this stage, Inter are said to only be interested in a straight cash deal for Hakimi, and are not considering swap deals, with the Serie A champions holding out for a mammoth fee. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. They want money, they need money, they don't want players. So I understand Chelsea trying to put them their way, but yeah, Inter are hopeful of creating a bidding war between Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain and believe they can get closer to 80 million euro. There's also the possibility that Inter will not need to sell Hakimi if they can find a buyer for Lautaro Martinez instead, who is wanted by Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Barcelona and others, though they are demanding a fee of 90 million euro for the Argentine striker. Yeah, Lautaro Martinez was hot property and linked to Chelsea, but he's not like a gunman. He didn't score loads of goals. He's just like a really useful forward to play in like a partnership or something. Do you know what I mean? Inter's asking price may prove to be too much for Chelsea, with the club also looking to bring a new superstar forward in this summer, and they have been linked with a big money move for Borussia Dortmund's Erling Haaland. Yeah, we all know the situation with that, and I'll update you on the Haaland story when there are updates to talk about. There's certain figures coming out of quotes and stuff, but you know, you guys have read that, so I'll wait till some more news comes out and I'll update you on that. Of course, make sure you are subscribed with the bell notifications icon to keep posted on that. Read this story. I think a lot of you would be very disappointed to see Mateo Kovacic go, especially seeing as we were looking to bring in a midfielder in to add to that sort of, you know, elite trio with Jorginho, Kovacic and Kante. And you know, you've got Billy Gilmour coming through, who hopefully is trusted more, but maybe is likely to hopefully get a Premier League loan. That would probably suit him. So maybe this is a nothing story. Often these rumours are, but theoretically, I'd be disappointed to see Mateo Kovacic go. Interestingly though, out of the three, it does look like now Jorginho and Kante is the favoured duo for Thomas Tuchel. Of course, Kovacic has got the skill set that is really impressive for a manager like Thomas Tuchel. Like that, what he can do in the middle of the park, really useful for Tuchel, and he does love him. But if he said who's your starting two midfielders now, he'd probably say Jorginho and Kante. So, makes you think. Anyway, let's move on and talk about this sensational suggestion regarding Jack Grealish. Yeah, I saw this story come out like yesterday or something, and there's a few more publications reporting on it today, so I thought it's my duty to react to said headlines, as that is what I do here on Chelsea News on Football Therapy. Jack Grealish being linked to Chelsea from a Spanish outlet. Obviously, he was heavily linked to Man United, but they are almost certain to get Jadon Sancho. That saga should finally come to an end, and they get their man. For the sake of everyone else's boredom, just make the transfer happen. And therefore, there's a suggestion that Jack Grealish could go to Chelsea, which I really like Jack Grealish. I think loads of people who watch Premier League football are a massive fan of Jack Grealish. There's this sort of common consensus for our England fans that he should start for England regardless. He's sort of like about to enter his prime. He's a captain for Aston Villa. He's kind of got Eden Hazard vibes in terms of how he relieves pressure, buying fouls, and has that individual dribbling brilliance. And he's been like, you know, before the tournament started, he was England's best player in those warm-up games. I don't know. I mean, they've just bought Buendia, that could be a replacement for him. Arsenal seem to think they're getting Jack Grealish, but I think that's unlikely. I'll be very disappointed in Grealish if he goes to Arsenal. Anyway, let's read through some of this article and see what it's saying. Jack Grealish has been linked to a summer move to Chelsea. In fact, the Blues are said to be, quote, favourites to sign the Aston Villa captain, who has been linked with a £100 million move to current Premier League champions Manchester City. But according to reports in Spanish media, Chelsea have moved to the top of the queue, despite their transfer business looking likely to be centred around signing a wingback and a striker. Links to Achraf Hakimi and Erling Haaland have intensified in the past week, but it would appear Marina Granovskaya and Thomas Tuchel are planning to spring a surprise. Does it appear that though? Fichajes? What the hell's a Fichajes? Apparently a news outlet claim that Champions League holders, Chelsea are the Champions League holders, they are, quote, favourites to sign Grealish this summer, and now the playmaker has fully recovered from a knee injury that kept him out for a large proportion of last season. If Chelsea are able to beat Manchester City of the signing of Grealish, then it's a case of the England internationals becoming teammates at club level. As well as the likes of Reece James and Ben Chilwell, the Aston Villa captain would link up with Mason Mount. And he's already heaped praise on the Blues midfielder. Quote, Mason Mount is another one who's training at 100%. Grealish told England's official Twitter account, he's always top class out there. In addition, Grealish has also rejected talk of a rivalry between him and Mason when it comes to a place in the England side. Quote, I love Mason. It's a bit annoying actually, because he probably gets a little bit of stick at times from it, but I've always been close with Mason. I think he's an absolutely terrific player. I don't even think we're fighting for the same spot, to be honest. Like I said, Mason's underrated. He deserves all credit. I think people who know about football will understand how good he is. Yeah, I remember that quote. That was a little while ago from like the previous England camp. So yes, Grealish has come out and heaped praise on Mason Mount. I don't think that's got anything to do with a transfer, if you ask me, football.london. But yes, they're basically trying to look at this Spanish report saying Chelsea have leaped above Man City as favourites to sign Jack Grealish. Honestly, I am taking this one with a pinch of salt because it's a Spanish outlet reporting on an English story. You already get flags when there's no when it's all English players involved. English clubs in Villa, City, and Chelsea for an English player. Why would we believe a Spanish outlet, you know? Unless there's a Spanish person at Aston Villa that works in the kitman Spanish, he heard something and leaked it to his brother's newspaper in Spain. Very unlikely, very unlikely. Not to say Jack Grealish probably wouldn't like joining the champions of Europe and the pride of London and Chelsea Football Club, but to be honest, that sounds like a nonsense to me. Anyway, let me know what you think. Would you like to take Jack Grealish at Chelsea? Who would he replace on the wings? What's going to happen with our wide forwards? Who's going to truly succeed in this Chelsea side as wingers? And, you know, we're going to get a striker. Let me know. Comment down below. Let's start up a conversation about these silly rumours. Make sure you hit the bell notifications icon if you enjoy these daily updates. What else? Go check out Football Yannick. Link in the description. Daily content there, of course. Thanks for hanging out, my friends. Enjoy the football. And I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.